The Fifth Amendment, protections against abuse of government. The Fifth Amendment is part of the Bill of Rights, added to the Constitution in 1791. It contains 5 important rules that protect people from unfair treatment by the government, preventing government abuse of power over citizens. The Fifth Amendment text. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces, or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property, without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. The Fifth Amendment prevents the government from charging individuals with crimes without evidence, repeatedly trying them for the same offense, forcing confessions, taking away freedom without fair trials, or seizing property without compensation. These protections exist because throughout history, governments have abused such powers against their people. There are 5 protections found in the Fifth Amendment. Grand jury protection. Citizens decide if charges are fair. Before the federal government can charge someone with a serious crime, they must convince a grand jury of 16 to 23 regular citizens. A prosecutor presents evidence to this group in secret, and if at least 12 grand jurors agree there's enough evidence, they issue an indictment, allowing the trial to proceed. This protection has ancient roots in the Magna Carta of 1215, which established that free men could not be imprisoned except by the lawful judgment of his peers. The grand jury system developed in medieval England as a way for local citizens to check royal power. The king's officials couldn't simply arrest people without first convincing a group of local residents that charges were justified. America's colonial experience reinforced this need. Under British rule, the king would imprison people for political reasons without good evidence. The founders wanted regular citizens to stand between accused individuals and potential government abuse, drawing on this centuries-old tradition of citizen oversight. Double jeopardy, no do-overs for the government. The government cannot repeatedly try someone for the same crime. Once a jury finds a defendant not guilty, the case ends permanently. The government cannot try again with new prosecutors or after waiting years. This protection begins when a jury is sworn in. The government gets exactly 1 chance to prove their case, forcing prosecutors to do their best work initially and making jury decisions meaningful. The dual sovereign exception. There's an important exception. If the same conduct violates both state and federal laws, both governments can prosecute. This dual sovereign theory treats state and federal governments as separate sovereigns with their own laws and interests. For example, if someone robs a federally insured bank, they could face state robbery charges and separate federal bank robbery charges. Each government gets 1 chance to prosecute, but they're considered different cases because they're enforcing different laws under different authorities. Self-incrimination. Citizens don't have to help convict themselves. This is the famous right to plead the Fifth. The government cannot force anyone to confess or say anything that might incriminate them, whether during police questioning, in court, or before a grand jury. Miranda Rights come from the 1966 Supreme Court case, Miranda v. Arizona. Police must now tell arrested suspects, "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court." This ensures that if someone chooses to speak, it's completely voluntary, protecting against coerced confessions in high-pressure interrogation situations. Exceptions to the right to remain silent. While citizens have the right to remain silent, certain types of statements can still be used against defendants. Spontaneous statements. Comments made without police questioning, like blurting out, "I didn't mean to kill him," at an arrest scene. Physical evidence from statements. If statements lead police to discover evidence, the evidence can be used even if the statement cannot. Public safety exception. Police can question without Miranda warnings if there's immediate danger to public safety. Routine booking questions. Basic information like name, address, and date of birth. statements to third parties, conversations with friends, family, or cellmates. The exclusionary rule and fruit of the poisonous tree. When the government violates Fifth Amendment rights, the exclusionary rule prevents illegally obtained evidence from being used in court. The fruit of the poisonous tree doctrine extends this protection. If police obtain evidence through illegal means, not only is that evidence excluded, but any additional evidence discovered as a result is also generally inadmissible. Due process. The government must play fair. Due process means the government cannot take away someone's life, liberty, or property without due process of law. This protection has two essential components. Procedural due process governs how the government treats individuals. Before punishing someone or taking their property, the government must follow fair procedures, providing clear notice, offering fair hearings before neutral decision-makers, allowing legal representation, permitting the presentation of evidence, enabling cross-examination of witnesses, ensuring impartial judges, and providing reasonable preparation time. Substantive due process addresses what the government can do, protecting fundamental rights like family relationships, privacy, bodily autonomy, freedom of movement, and personal liberty. Due process applies beyond criminal cases, to school suspensions, license revocations, property condemnation, government benefits, and immigration proceedings. Originally applying only to federal government, the 14th Amendment extended these protections to state and local governments after the Civil War. Just compensation. When government takes property, it must pay. When the government needs private property for public use through eminent domain, it must pay just compensation, typically fair market value. This balances community needs with individual property rights. These 5 protections work together to limit government power and protect individual rights. The Fifth Amendment transforms the founding principle of natural rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness into concrete constitutional limits on government power. From grand jury protections against false charges to ensuring fair compensation when government takes private land, the Fifth Amendment serves as one of the most important defenses against tyranny. Understanding these rights helps citizens know what protections they have under American law. Help combat constitutional illiteracy by liking this video and subscribing to this channel.